Today, I would like to answer a question that nobody has asked me to satisfy myself. Um, so why am I so awkward around other people? I think that let's think about the nature of awkwardness first. I haven't really thought about this until just now, but I thought it would be interesting because I think that I guess what makes a situation even awkward, really? Um, I think that what can make a situation awkward is when you're not really sure what the other person wants, and maybe you're not sure what you want, or maybe you want something, but the other person doesn't want it, or the other person wants something that you don't want. So the best example of this is like if you think of two people who are attracted to each other, or maybe one person is attracted to the other person, then it's awkward because of the reasons that I just said. Because somebody wants something from the other person, or maybe both people do, but for whatever reason, that gap isn't being bridged, and that's probably a good thing, to be honest. Um, but those desires aren't really being there's no bridge, like there's no way for them to unfold or anything. So like the attraction doesn't necessarily have to be um, sexual or romantic. I think you can also have like a social attraction. So maybe somebody you just want to interact with somebody, like it's a platonic sort of, it's an attraction. When I say the word attraction, I mean it in like a raw form where it's just you're drawn to somebody else, or you're drawn to whatever it is you want. Like you can be attracted to a piece of cheesecake. Like it doesn't have to be the word attracted or attractive or whatever variations of. It doesn't have to be a sexual or romantic thing. It doesn't have to be a boy girl thing or whatever. So a lot of times, in that sense, people are attracted to me to socialize with me. Um, because people just, not necessarily because I'm special or anything, although everybody is special, I suppose, I hope. I am a unique person, I hope, I think. Um, so sometimes that's the case. Um, but oftentimes people, just the way that people are, most normal people, they, for some reason, want to talk just to talk, not to, not for some other purpose, not to convey information, not necessarily. Sometimes it's like right now, the point, there's a couple of reasons that I'm talking. And I guess one of them is talking just to talk. Um, but it's not really a socializing type of talking because I'm not interacting with another person. This is more like journaling than anything else, even though I might get comments, and other people can listen to what I'm saying. Um, I have these thoughts that I have. I have these thoughts that I have. I'm really redundant when I talk. I apologize. But these thoughts that I think, I like to get them out. Um, and with a bit of hubris, I do think that I have insights other people don't have sometimes. So I'm doing that. And I'm also doing this as a sort of emotional release, because it does make me feel better to talk about whatever I'm interested in talking about. Since nobody ever, like, I can't really talk about this stuff, I feel like, with anybody that I know. And I also want to remain uninterrupted. But the point is, there's these different reasons that I'm talking. Um, but some people, they just have this socializing desire of, like, they want to match energy with you or with somebody, and they kind of just want to throw energy balls back and forth. Um, and that's not really something that I typically want to do. I protect my own energy very severely, and only will tentatively throw balls of energy at other people if I need to, or if I have some sort of interest. Because I don't want to disturb other people, because the way that I think, from my own perspective, I know how annoying it can be when somebody is talking to you and you don't want them to talk to you. So that makes me a lot more cautious. So a lot of this awkwardness comes from, if the word disjunction is appropriate, maybe dissonance is a better word. A dissonance between what I want and what another person wants. And usually, all it is really is I just don't want to talk. Like, I don't want to talk to you. And the other person wants to talk to me, and I don't really want to talk to them. But more than that, I don't want to be brought into an unspoken social contract where me and the other person are buddies or pals or friends, because that puts weight and responsibility on me to, in the future, continue to act very chummy and sociable, and um, just with the same sort of energy with that person. And I can't always muster up um, that kind of energy, so I'm very careful with how I interact with people, because one day I might be in really high spirits and I might be in a mildly outgoing mood. Usually it's only mildly outgoing. Like, my outgoing is other people's reserved. Um, so some days I will be high energy and I might interact with somebody, but as I have discovered in the past, that doesn't stick around. So there's days where I'm low spirited, low energy, and I don't really want to talk to people. I don't really want to interact with them. And I actually find it annoying when other people try to talk to me, even if it might be somebody that yesterday I got along with well enough. Um, I can find it really annoying if somebody tries to talk to me and they're like, "What's up, man?" Um, and it's nothing against that person or anything. I mean, maybe it is actually. Maybe it is all personal. I don't know. Actually, it probably is more all personal, and it probably is against that person in specific. Come to think of it, um, I don't think that people understand me, and also I don't think that they're willing to match my energy as they want me to match their energy. Um, People have a way of wanting you to act a certain way, to behave a certain way with a certain level of energy. Uh, they want you to be, like, jovial, I guess, and upbeat. And I really am just not. Um, I'm most upbeat and jovial when I'm by myself in my own energy. Um, but so basically what I do oftentimes is I just be myself um, when I want to, and there is this confusion that happens because people don't understand what I'm doing, um, or why I'm acting the way I'm acting. But all I'm doing is just, if I don't want to talk to somebody, if they ask me a question, I'll just answer it. And then, if I don't really say anything, it's just because I don't have anything to say. Um, I don't really want to talk to you. Like that's all. It's just not like people can't figure out. They don't really realize how my emotions work. Um, or how I think. People oftentimes will expect me to, if something happens, like I've noticed that most normal people get pissed off at like 200 things every day. It's a lot harder to, or there's less things that aggravate me or that cause me to get angry or annoyed. And I don't complain as much as other people do. I've noticed, not at least not outwardly. There's definitely lots of inner complaints, and yeah. But outwardly, I don't open my mouth to complain about every little thing. So lots of time, I also think it's lame to do that. So lots of times, if somebody complains or something, and they're kind of expecting me to also be complaining because that's like the normal thing, and they're also expecting me to match their energy. Um, I just won't really do it. I'm like, yeah, I guess. It's like, yeah, what? All right, yeah, I know it sucks, and then like that's it. But usually when somebody complains, another person's like, yeah, I know it sucks, man. Screw this crap, and then blah 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 and the blah blah blah. But like people are always bonding over these things that they're complaining about, and I can do that a little bit, but usually when I'm doing that, I'm just doing that to appease another person. Like usually I don't really care. Sometimes something pisses me off and I do get angry. Uh, and it happens and people have seen that, but it usually I really don't have a lot to complain about. And if something is going wrong, um, it's not even something that's bothersome. So it's like it's not even an actual issue. Um, like the rain, you know, it maybe this is kind of maybe this will sound kind of performative because I think people have said this sort of thing before. Some people just get way too worked up about the rain, about even a light drizzle. You just get a little bit wet walking to walking from point A to point B, and it's just like not a big deal. But people act like they'll complain about it like, oh, I'm getting wet or whatever. It's like, who cares? Like, who cares? You know what I mean? And the equivalent, stuff like that. Or most of my socializing is at work, so sometimes something will kind of be going wrong and people will just be complaining even though it really doesn't have much to do with them. Sometimes people will complain about stuff that they see that's bothering them that isn't even affecting them. And sometimes I do that, but it's much, much rarer. And it kind of gets on my nerves when people are constantly complaining about things that aren't even affecting them. They just see what somebody else is doing, or they see something and they're like, oh, blah, 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 I can't believe this. Like, everybody's an idiot except for me. And that's just how some people are. Actually, it's how a lot of people are. People can't really mind their own business. I don't know. But with this awkwardness thing, it's like a lot of it just comes from people want something, want some sort of social I don't know what to call it. Um, you know how a lot of people will eat food together, like they'll sit down and eat together. I don't like sitting down and eating with other people. I like being by myself, and I don't want to talk to anybody. It's not that I mean, maybe some of it is shyness, it is, but most of it, it's just I'm very uncomfortable being around other people, and I can't. I usually by default I get in my head, right? So what I mean is I'll start thinking about something, like I'll think about my books or video games or whatever, and I'll be thinking about it. And so if I'm eating, I'm just thinking about something, right? And I don't really want to be disturbed, but when you're around other people, they will randomly or at their will say something to you. And you're expected to, first of all, hear what they said, which sometimes I don't. And secondly, you're expected to respond, which I don't always hear the person. I also don't always have anything to say in response because I just don't really care or want to talk in the first place. Um, so it's like when other people are interacting with me, it's like they're trying to draw me into this pool. Like if everybody's a fish and I'm a fish, um, then okay, let's take it to the hedgehog's dilemma. So let's say we're all hedgehog, we're all hedgehog fish, and my spikes are just a bit bigger, and everybody's trying to get me in the pool where they're all at, and they're floating comfortably around each other. But I just don't want to get in the pool. I just don't want to get in. And so, if somebody's inviting me to the pool, I'll say something. I'll say like, the water does look nice. You're right. And it is a hot day out, but I don't want to get in the pool. And then I'll walk past the pool. Um, or maybe I have to linger by the pool for a minute. And so a couple people in the pool, maybe one of the people in the pool is a very attractive person. Maybe it's a cutie. And they're trying to get you in the pool. But better than to get in the pool because at the end of the day, you don't really want to get in the pool. Even if that person is very attractive, you know that you really don't want to get in there. Because there's all those other people in the pool around that person, around that hedgehog fish. Even though that hedgehog fish is very cute, you just don't want to deal with the other hedgehog fish that are in that hedgehog fish's school. You don't want to deal with it. Fish, they swim in these schools, the little ones, um, which means in a group. And when you get close to one of them, it means that you're close to all of them. And I don't got time for that. So a lot of my interactions are just trying to avoid being invited or brought into the pool. And I also don't, sometimes I just don't want to I don't want to be part of somebody's personal pool. Because when you're in that person's pool, they have their whole family there, and you start to have to like meet their family or whatever, and they got all their friends, and their friends are your friends now. Um, I don't want to do that. I don't want to. This analogy is hilarious to me. I'll probably title this video, I don't want to get in the pool. I don't want to get in the pool. And so that's basically where a lot of this awkwardness comes from. And it also comes from me not really knowing what I want. Because sometimes I can't tell how far somebody is in the pool And if it's safe to maybe it with this person it's safe to get in the pool with them. But I'm not sure. And so I'm hesitant and therefore I'm awkward. And if me and this other person we want different things, but I'm trying to be polite and everything, it's just gonna be awkward. And I guess that's all there is to it.